JJ Nindo. Let's start with the Noka mantra. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Eso Pancha Namo Karo, Sarva Pava Panasano, Mangalanam Cha Sarvesim, Paramam Have Mangalam. They say time is the most precious thing in the universe. And every week you give me an hour of your time, which I don't take for granted. So today I have a gift for you. Come on in. I got a gift for you today.
Wow.
I am giving you an hour of your time to think about your life. When was the last time you thought about your life? It's probably been a while, right? I mean, some people never have. Some people never will. But how can we live an examined life if we don't take time to examine it? So I'm handing out a SMART goals table that we are going to fill out today. And I just sent it to the group, so everyone at home, feel free to print it. Get up from your seat and print it, because this is the only thing we're doing, is filling this out. The entirety of the hour, we're filling out this SMART goals table. And I got a little bit nervous because why, you could print this at home, right? You could fill this out on your own time. So I got a little bit nervous. Why would we spend our precious time that we have together doing this? But the thing is, you won't. If I give this to you, you won't spend an hour at home doing this. Things will get busy, Your family will have demands on your time. Right now, you don't have your kids. You have nothing to do until 11:30. So you're going to think about your life. So we have this SMART goals table that we need to fill out. And we have, on the left column, we have the types of goals that we have. We have personal goals, professional goals, spiritual goals, physical goals, mental goals, and family goals. And there's 2 spots for each goal, but don't fill them all out because that will be way too many. You won't be able to work on these goals. Just fill out, 3 or 4 that you're interested in. And they make sure that they're SMART goals. Make sure that they're specific, measurable, achievable, resourced, and time-bound. Hey, come on in. How you doing?
Good.
I got a gift for you. It's an hour. I didn't wrap it or anything.
Does someone need this?
No.
Okay.
So if your goal was to lose weight, okay, that's not specific. So you'd fail there. So these are to remind you to have a specific goal. Your goal should be to lose 5 pounds. That's a specific goal. Okay? If your goal was to be happier, okay, that's not measurable. Okay? You'd have to try to find a way to measure it. All right? If your goal was to lose 50 pounds, that's not achievable in the time span that we're talking about. We're talking about around 6 months, okay? So you'd fail there, so you'd have to adjust your goal. If your goal was to read more, but you don't have the books, okay? Resourced is there to say, hey, you need all the materials to achieve your goal, whatever those might be. And if your goal was to lose weight, not by a specific time period, you'd fail that goal. Because you'd lose 5 pounds, but you'd give yourself 2 years for it, you'd forget about it, right? It has to be an appropriate amount of time for you to achieve your goals. They say that everybody has the same 24 hours, and that's why time is precious, whether you're rich or poor. But that's a lot of hogwash. The number one thing that rich people buy is time. Okay? You buy a car to get around faster, to save your time. You hire a maid or a gardener to save your time. You're buying time. The number one thing, if you have a passive income, what are you doing but buying time where you don't have to work? Right? So that's just something we tell ourselves to feel better about ourselves. Oh, somehow everybody's equal because everybody only has 24 hours in a day and it's up to you how to use them, as if we were on par with rich people. But we're not, because the number one thing that rich people buy is time. So the purpose of goal setting is to use your time effectively. Thanks for everybody that's just joining us. We're filling out our SMART goals table. I just sent it to the group, so you can please print it out and fill it out with us. Hey, I got a gift for you.
Oh, of course.
It's an hour. What is that worth to you? What is an hour of examining your time, examining your life worth to you? That's all we're doing today, is we're filling out this sheet. So feel free to fill out any goals that you have. And I got a question for you. Why do we have physical goals on here? We're Jane. We know we're a soul. We're not a body. Why do we have physical goals on here? Isn't it anti-Jane to go to the gym? Because you're taking care of your body when you're actually a soul? Wouldn't your time be better spent taking care of your soul rather than your body?
Well, Maharaj Sahib say that if you are in good health, you can focus on your soul more.
That's right. The better health you're in, the more you can practice Samvara and Nirdra. Samvara, remember, is the blocking of karma, attaching to your soul. And Nirdra is the burning of karma that's already attached to your soul. If you're in poor health and you're worried about, your failing body, and you're trying to take care of that, you're not worried about your soul. And the longer, as we know, Ayusha Karma, your lifespan is determined at the 2/3 point of your life. So if you can live longer, you have more time to perform Samvara and Nirdra. So, while it may be true that, some person's time is better spent worrying about their soul, let's say they're at the gym, 5 hours a day, right? Some of that time is better spent worrying about their soul. But let's get real, okay? Half an hour or an hour 3 times a week is going to be at the gym is going to be better for you and better for your soul. Because the other time, you have more time to worry about your soul. That is, taking care of your body is not incompatible with Jainism. As much as people try to convince you otherwise, and it's in the book. If you don't believe me, it's in the book. I got another question for you while you're filling this out. What is the difference between human beings and animals from a Jain perspective? That's right. Human beings are the only kind of being to take vows. Animals cannot take vows. Heavenly beings cannot take vows. And even hellish beings cannot take vows. And what are goals but vows? Like practicing goal setting is practicing Jainism. Because other beings are not even capable of taking vows. You are the only kind of being that's capable of setting a goal and executing and doing what it takes to achieve the goal. And that is extremely hard. If you don't know how hard it is, what was the last goal that you've accomplished? Tell me that. It's very hard. And that's why the number one thing about this is don't feel bad if you don't accomplish these things. That is the last thing that this is for. Even if you just write this down and never look at it again. You have spent this hour. It has been a good hour spent for you. Because it's hard to even write it down. It's very hard to examine your life. That's why we don't do it that much. Because when we start examining our life, we start facing the potential of what could have been. And I face that every day at the end of the day. I think of how much stuff I could have got done. Every morning I'm like, I'm going to get this done. I never get any of that stuff done. And every night I think about that. I was like, I could have got so much done. But it never seems to happen. And so that's why you can't feel bad about this stuff. The purpose is not to feel bad about not accomplishing goals. That's the number one rule. In fact, many of you who've done this last time will write down the same goals. Sometimes we've written down the same goals. How many years have we been together? Some of these goals have been here for 2 years on these pieces of paper. And that's fine. Anybody want to share a goal that they've had? I've been doing a lot of talking. I wasn't supposed to be doing a lot of talking today.
I think I mentioned that in the past that this sheet works for me, at least in person.
That's great.
So for me, it's very easy to put it down because I do use this one very frequently.
Oh, that's great. And when you're done filling it out, take a picture. And so you have it somewhere. So, because you're going to lose the piece of paper unless you put it on your fridge at home. I see a lot of blank papers, so just write something down. You don't have to share. Come on in. Hey, I got a gift for you. I got 45 minutes of your time. What is that worth to you?
That's gonna be better for me with all your patience and meditation.
There you go. We have a goal for you to set it up.
We're filling out our SMART goals table. We just
Can I get another pencil?
yeah, of course. If anybody wants another one, there's a pencil sharpener in there too. We're filling out our SMART goals table because we're examining our life. And that's the only thing that differentiates us from the animals, is that we can set and achieve goals. So we might as well use it. It's our one superpower. Even very powerful heavenly and hellish beings are very powerful, but they do not have the ability to set goals.
What would be an example of spiritual goals?
A spiritual goal, if you want to say the Nokar mantra 5 times every day. That let's go through it. It's specific, yes. It's measurable, yes. Is it achievable? Yeah, I'd say it's achievable. Do you have the resources to achieve it? Yes. Is it time bound? Okay, every day for 3 months. Perfect. Hey, come on in.
Hello.
I have a gift for you. It's a piece of paper that represents 45 minutes of your time.
Okay.
We're filling out our SMART goals table. And we're taking stock of our life, and we are setting goals for our life, because that's what differentiates us from the animals.
What is the example of mental goals?
A mental goal is, I want to perform concentration exercises. I want to try to be mindful. I want to try to meditate. These are examples of mental goals.
Yeah, I have put Naukarwali and mental goals because I think it gives me peace. So it can be spiritual or mental. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, some of these dovetail into each other, that's for sure. That's the only thing we're doing today, so relax. We're not going to go deep into different things. I'm just giving you some time without the kids to think about your life. Anyone want to share a goal that they have?
I can share one.
Sure.
Something that I have written 3 years in a row, haven't achieved, is actually doing a will for myself.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been saying that and talking about that for some time. So
Yeah.
this time, we'll
Yeah.
do it.
That's how hard it is to
That's what I
achieve a
said
goal.
last year as well.
That's okay. That's good.
Sure, we all know what gets in the way, right? We all know. We all know that life gets in the way, and it's something that's hard to do. A goal is hard enough to do on its own, but talking about examining your mortality is very hard. Thanks for coming. We're filling out this goal sheet today.
Oh, okay.
Grab a pen. I think there's some floating around. Neil has a goal to share. Neil's goal is to be more consistent into coming to adults class despite the busy schedule. Sure thing. Is that specific? Yes. Is it measurable? Yes, if he measures the amount of classes he comes to. Is it achievable? Certainly. Does Neil have the resources to do that? Yes, he does. And is it time bound? No. Let's say for the rest of this semester. Thank you, Neil.
That's an easy one. Only 2 more classes. It's a good start, Neil.
All right, well, in case this class wasn't enough paperwork for you, I have more gifts for you. This is another thing we developed in class. Those of you, a bunch of you will remember it. This is our spiritual hygiene toolbox and regimen. And I will give this to our online people too, and then we will explain it. This other piece of paper I've given you. Okay, I'm just copying the link here. And I'm sending it to the group, so you'll have another thing to print if you want. May I have one? Thank you. Okay, so a while back we said, hey, we know a bunch about physical hygiene, but what do we know about spiritual hygiene? It's not taught in school, it's not taught in class. There is such a thing as mental hygiene. There's such a thing as taking care of your mental health, but nobody teaches us that. So we naturally decided to teach ourselves that, and this is what we came up with. And how this document works is that the toolbox is in the top, okay? And then you write the things from the toolbox in these blanks on the bottom. And that becomes your spiritual regimen. Okay, and just like the SMART goals table, we're not going to fill all of these out because it's frankly too much. And you won't do it. It'll just be too much for you to handle. What we are going to do is you're going to look at the tools at the top and see what interests you. See what kind of these spiritual tools interest you. You know? How about this one? Open the book. How about that one? That's a nice one. Charity is a good one. Oh, how about this one? Believing you're a soul. How about we perform that yearly on April 29th? On April 29th, we're going to believe we're a soul. We're going to make decisions that whole day as if we were a soul. Right? And you can decide how much you want to do. You can put one of these tools as a daily one. Be very careful about daily. It's very hard. Like the only thing we would try to do daily at the very beginning is probably prayer. So we'd write under daily, we'd write prayer. Right? So weekly on blank of each week. So for example, we'd write, I'm going to perform fasting on Monday of every week. You know, maybe I do a Bayasnu on Monday of every week. And so for monthly, you'd write a number there. So you'd say, well, I'm going to think about the 12 bhavnas on the 25th of each month. So you do it like that. And yearly, you'd write a date there. So you'd say, well, I'm going to be vegan on May 10th of every year. That's how you would do it. That's how you use this spiritual hygiene toolbox. So the top is the toolbox, and the bottom is the frequency or the regimen. And that creates a spiritual regimen for you. And so the most important tools are these blanks at the bottom, because obviously these are just kind of what we brainstormed that day. Whatever tool, you can have a lot of different spiritual tools. You can open up the book and you'll hit a bunch of different tools. So you write down the tools. That's to remind you that these aren't the only things you can pick. You write down the tools that will help you. So you might decide to think about the 5 vows every week on a Tuesday. And then that's what you would write down. And take a picture of this document too when you're done filling it out. I like the Bhavan's example, Tech Free Day. Maybe you could do one tech free day a month, right? You put your phone away, you put your computer away, see how that feels for a little bit. Remember, you're a soul. Questions or comments about how to use this spiritual hygiene toolbox and regimen? Hey, come on in. Yeah, let's move from the door, sorry. Hey, thanks for everybody just joining us. I have a gift for you. It's about half hour of time. What's that worth to you? Half hour of time.
Unlimited value.
Priceless. Priceless. $0. Priceless.
Yeah. It's... They say time is priceless, but rich people seem to buy it all the time.
So,
Okay,
question,
yes.
Under toolbox, does physical hardship? Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. One way to perform nirjara is to undergo physical hardship. That is to put your body in weird positions, and fasting is a type of physical hardship. Exercise is a type of physical hardship. If you try to do a hike, a lot, and then you try to believe you're a soul rather than you're a body. The physical hardship, putting yourself through physical hardship, is one way to convince yourself you're a soul rather than a body. Thank you. All right, let's get an art project update. We're about 6 months behind schedule. We were supposed to do it on the new year, but a bunch of things happened. I think a lot of the people that donated think we took their money and run. But where are we as far as the art project? In case anybody doesn't remember, because it was so long ago, one day we had a discussion about Jainism and art. And we looked around and we looked at different pieces of Jain art throughout history. And we said, hey, what is it that makes it special? What is the purpose of Jain art? And can we bring that in here? So we decided that, yeah, we can do that. We can do an art project for Dad's class. So we gathered up a bunch of money, and we are going to install a piece of art at the Jain Center to do all the things we talked about that Jain art does. So where are we on that?
All right, so the picture frame that we bought, I post that picture on the group. That has been modified and it has been painted the way it's supposed to be painted. That picture frame will be installed by next week to the place that we want to install it. The last piece left on that one is getting the posters printed out, and that should be done this week as well. So hopefully by next Saturday, next week, you should be able to see that frame installed.
Oh, that's great. And so it's always a little dangerous to have a kind of a continuing responsibility. Who's going to be in charge of switching out the posters?
Well, we haven't decided.
Okay, well, let's
We'll
decide
at least
that.
put in one poster right now instead of two.
Okay,
So that will stay there.
great.
Yes, I'll come and measure some stuff and probably have it installed next week. The only thing lacks on that one is the latch keys and lock. That way, it's a glass frame, it's pretty large size.
Okay.
So we don't need to be constantly open and close.
And did we get permission from the Jain Center to
I
install
think we did talk to J4E, but I'm going to remind him too. It's
Yeah.
been 6 months.
it?
It's been a while. Yeah, the challenge was that one was, hey, yes.
If you need some help installing, you can reach out to me. Come help me.
Yeah, sure, no problem. The biggest challenge on that one was to get the customized box built, and if you find everything online, none of the box fits the size we want the poster to be printed with. So we did find a picture frame that fits that size close enough, and then the next challenge was somebody build the box behind it to make it work. So the front looks like a picture frame, and the back side is the plywood and all that piece. So, but then the color of that frame, we can't put that here, so we had to paint it white. All of that is done by individual next to Suke Dubai's place. So he just went through some medical stuff, and he's back in the office now. So we should be able to get everything wrapped up by next week.
That's great.
Good job coordinating.
Yeah, great job.
Suke Dubai did most of the work. I didn't do much.
And the funds are with me, so once Bhavin mentions.
Yeah, I'll let you know who he needs to tell us
Yeah.
where he spent money and all that. So he had the budget, he knew about it, so it's still within the budget. So no issue.
Anybody want to share a spiritual hygiene goal that they set here for this piece of paper?
Fasting on first Saturday of the month.
Oh, okay. Now, what type is it? Ekasna? Oh, wow. Okay. Are you gonna do breakfast or lunch or dinner? Oh, yeah, that's good. In the middle of the day, then that'll carry you the rest of the way. That's good. First Saturday of week. Yeah, that seems like a count. That seems like pretty good. Pretty. Seems smart. Specific, measurable, achievable, resource, time bound. How long are you gonna do it for?
At least this year.
Okay, 1 year. Wow, that's great. I love that. Yeah, one thing about fasting is, well, let's say you don't. Let's say it doesn't help you believe you're a soul. You know how much time you save when you fast? You know how much mental energy you save when you fast? It's only when you fast that you realize how much time you spend thinking about food, how much time you spend thinking about dinner that day, and how much time you spend actually doing it and eating it and then cleaning up afterwards, right? It's a lot of time. Do you need a pen? Where are the pens? They're floating around. Oh, he got one. Thanks. So you get half an hour to work to examine your life, to fill out these SMART goals. We want to make sure they're smart, and to create a kind of spiritual regimen. And write it down, and then take a picture with your phone after you write it down. And then hopefully, and don't feel bad if you don't accomplish any of these things. Some of us have gone years without accomplishing goals because it's extremely difficult to accomplish goals. And make some easy, okay? Make some easy. Don't try to start with hard ones, okay? Make some like really easy, and then you accomplish them and you feel good, and then you feel good about new ones, right? And then you kind of get the ball rolling. You have a little ramp up as far as difficulty. Don't make them too hard to start with.
Can I ask a question? I just
Of course.
What is this 5 codes of conduct, 5 samitis, 5 vows, 35 qualities? What are those?
So those are all in the book. So the 5 vows is who can remember the 5 vows?
Ahimsa,
Oh,
yeah, 5 vows.
the Jainism thing. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
These are all Jain concepts.
Jain concept.
So maybe, for example, monthly you want to pick one of the vows and try to do that one that day. So for example, you might want to try non-lying. See if you can go one whole day without lying. So the 5 samitis are the 5 types of carefulness we observe. The codes of conduct they're very interesting. I like the codes of conduct because different people, interact with Jainism in different ways, right? Some people just say, listen, I believe in all that. Just tell me what you want me to do, and I will do it. And guess what? Those are the 5 codes of conduct. Just tell me what you don't want me to eat. Tell me how many times a day to pray. Tell me this. I believe in Jainism. You just got to tell me what to do. And that's what the 5 codes of conduct are. So I really like that. It'll just tell you what to do for your whole day, for your whole life. And some people like that, and I really like that. Let's see, what else? The 12 bhavnas are the 12 stages of spiritual progress. And so you want to know where you're going, right? You kind of really don't know how to get there unless you know where you're going. And guess what? We're going on this 12-step plan. And so if you think about the 12-step plan, you can direct your life to where you're going. Let's see, what else?
The 35 qualities.
The 35 qualities. The 35 qualities are the things about the Arihants, Acharyas, and Upadhyas that we respect and we wish to emulate. And it's in the book. There are 35 of them. And so we want to do those things because they have done those things and they're very hard to do. And so that's what we want to do. We have a message from Neil. Let me encourage everyone to get a physical done this year. Screening, blood work, lipids, A1, etc. Many times we put this on the back burner. Make it a goal this year. Okay, so Neil has shared a good goal for everyone. That is, get a physical done. He just did his last week and it was eye-opening for him. Thanks, Neil. And so all those things will be in the book. So you'll be able to see those. And then it's good if you look at the table of contents, you'll be able to see right where those are.
If any of you need a book, please reach out to me. Because
Well, we didn't get around to sponsoring a lunch this year. And I'm sorry about that. But maybe we'll try again next year. I don't think we'll have enough time. We just have a couple more Sundays left. Those are probably all taken. We'll see. I think we have time for like one project a year. So this year we did the art project. But in case some of you want to do it, then make sure you bring it up next year. Then adults class can sponsor a lunch.
I think from what I've heard is through September or early October, it's kind of taken for each week.
Okay.
So October, mid-October, November onwards, we may have a chance.
Right. Well, I'm glad to see some new faces here. I don't think we have time to introduce everybody, should we?
I think it'll go fast.
Okay, why don't we introduce everybody so we don't pick on the new people? And then tell us your name and where you work. We're here to help each other spiritually and professionally. So if somebody is in your field or they need help, or we're all going to encourage each other and help each other spiritually and professionally. So why don't we start here and go backwards? That way everybody can know everybody.
So my name is Bhavin Shah and I work for Powell Industry in oil and gas business. I've been in Houston since 2006 and we've been in this class for about 6 years, 7 years, probably more. And my field is on project management side, so if anybody's interested, we all are hiring. Everybody is hiring right now.
Hi, my name is Shah Devang. I've been here for 30 years. I just joined the class just recently because of my kids. I used to come, but not regularly. So because of kids, I just hooked up.
Sure.
And I'm in a liquor industry, so I hope nobody needs it.
Scratch this.
My name is Ashish Mehta and I work for Accenture, IT consulting. Been mostly based in Houston for about the last 4 years.
Hi, my name is Jigna Shah. I work at Kroger and I've been in US since 2004 and we just recently started coming there as well.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hi, Umesh Javeri. I'm working for the NOV as a Oracle One World. I'm the technical lead. And in this class, I think almost 6 years.
Right.
Piyush Gosar, work at Kinder Morgan, credentials there. Started traveling to this class in, I guess, August, but been here about 30 years almost.
My name is Akash Daga. We have our jewelry and diamond business. I've been in Houston my whole life for about 34 years now. It's my first year, and I think Tim, you've done a great job leading the class.
Oh, thanks for coming. I really appreciate that.
Hi, my name is Vivek Shah. I'm in oil and gas industry. I work for a company called Accents. I'm a chemical engineer by profession. Been in Houston since 2006. Been coming to Temple every Sunday since 2006. Didn't know about this class. This was my second class actually. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh, we got to get more marketing then.
Yeah. You're doing a good job. Hiding it seems like.
We're way in the back.
Yeah.
Deepak Dal, I work for Shell as a general manager for Wells Upstream. Been in Houston for 15 years. I've been in this class and also used to come to the DATS class before also. It's always good to come and get a little bit of me time in a way in this class.
Exactly, yes, that's what it's for.
My name is Nitesh Daga. I also work in the jewelry industry with my brother. I've been coming to this class for the last year, and it's a good thing to do every week. It makes a big difference, I think.
Hello, my name is Chintan Mehta. Been in Houston since 2006, attending the class for the past 6-7+ years. So it's been a pretty rewarding class in general. Recently started own business in health, safety and environmental consulting.
Congratulations.
Happy to help.
Hello everyone, my name is Sankit Shah. I work for a company called Woodside Energy in Galleria. I used to attend the previous version of this class by Jaina Shankar, where Timir was a student. Now I started attending his class just from last week, and it's been great.
That's a rough introduction. We talked about death twice, and now we're doing paperwork. I'm surprised you're still here. That's great. I like that.
I'm Kaushik Batrawala. I recently started with a company called Audubon as Executive VP for their downstream business.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been coming here for a few years as well. Sunday is my chance to kind of hit the reset button and think about myself and religion. So it's a good class.
Hi, my name is Sandeep Surana. I've been in Houston since 2017. Been part of this class for almost a few years now. I don't remember exactly when I started, but I know that I've been regular to every Sunday. I look forward to this class. I recently started my own business. I am right now in IT, ERP consulting, and playing a role of director in a non-profit organization. Yeah, thank you.
My name is Sheetal Chada and I'm a stay-home mom. And thank you, Timmy, for opening this class for moms as well as dads.
No, it's never been my preference to exclude people. You know, it started out as dad's class because there was a mom's class, right? And I didn't want to be rude and take students from the mom's class, right? But now that is at a different time or it's not doing, so yeah, but always welcome. Yeah, thank you.
No, I think the mom class that they have, it's more into the Jainism part of it.
Right.
And I like this because it's like day to day to make yourself better.
Right.
So thank you.
My name is Arpana Chetta, and I have my own business in financial consulting, and then I also just launched a health and nutrition coaching, so I'm also doing that. And today's my first class, so I really see how much time that Dimmer puts into it, and so happy to be here.
Congratulations.
How about online? Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes, hey, my Nice to meet you guys. I'm in the medical field. Great to see some diversity in the class. It's awesome. Again, another shout out to Tamir every time. Just want to say thank you for your time and efforts and making this a class. And continue to hopefully join either virtually or in person. But thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Hey guys, this is Kijal Cheda. I'm a CPA by profession, and thanks to David, I always had my personal goals, financial goals, but my main reason to join this class was for spiritual goals. And I printed this sheet out. I am looking at it, and I really like the spiritual hygiene toolbox. We as a family once a week do follow Baki, so we don't eat any grains. I mean, not all greens.
Yeah.
All eat outside. But this really, and one of the reasons I like it is, I started opening the book. Every evening I read to my younger one, Yash. And, it's so much introspective that I do while reading it. And it's good thought that I sleep with it. So it's really eye-opener. I started also telling myself affirmation is I am a soul. So eventually I start also believing it.
That's great.
Yeah, but I do tell my kids and my wife, we should all do this affirmation and then I am a soul. Because
Right.
I think that's what it all matters now.
Right.
But no, thank you so much. I really appreciate being in person over there. But just trying to finish some files before I go to India.
Sure, of course.
So, but thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm next. Hi, I'm Nick Shaw. I'm the CEO of Energy Alloys. We're a global distributor and manufacturer of turnkey components for downhole drilling tools, primarily in the bar, pipe, and tube segment. So, been a part of the class for about 6 years, and once we had to teach a class, and that's when I really realized how much effort it takes, and how much effort it takes Tim every week to go and gather all the information, compile the information, and practice the delivery of information. So, appreciate the support in doing that. And I don't take this 1 hour lightly, Tim. So I'm glad that we still do it online, allowing us to still join when we physically can't be there. So
That's great. Thank you so much. My name is Timur Cheda. I'm an attorney. I practice corporate law and intellectual property law, so patents, copyrights, and trademarks. Really thankful for this gift that you give me every week. It's not something I take for granted. I'm giving you an hour, but you're giving me an hour times 20, right? So I definitely am coming out better on this end of the deal. And that's something that Kinjal said is very important. Believing your soul is the back door to moksha. People always want an easy way, right? And if you look at the book, it's very hard. And it is hard. I'm not going to deny that. But there is a back door to liberation. And the back door to liberation is believing you're a soul. Because once you start believing you're a soul, you'll start to change the decisions you make every day. And you'll automatically start doing all the things that are in the book. And if you don't believe you're a soul, the best thing to do is to try to fake it. Fake believing you're a soul and fake making decisions as if you're a soul. And one day you'll start to realize that your life is getting better, your outlook is getting better, and then that's when you'll start to really believe you're a soul. Anybody want to share any goals or spiritual hygiene tools that they set for themselves?
I would like to share this.
Sure.
I believe in visualization. I was not a great student when I was in school, but that changed a long time back. I attended a class on visualization, and they told me to write down what you want to be or what you believe in. and whether it played a role of me becoming a CPA, or whether it's something that I want to achieve right now, financially or investment purposes. And you will see all over my office, all over my houses, I have this visualization set for myself. So I think that plays a big role if you want to write down. And that's what I really like what you did today is this printout. I'm going to make multiple copies. I'm going to put it everywhere. It reminds me, whether it's in just his, every evening I read a book, I'm going to put it right there. So once he's in his bed, I can still continue reading that book and not just wrap it and be on my social media.
That's great. You know, there's two great things that I'd like to highlight about what you said. When you're going to put these things everywhere, like a post-it note to remind you, well, what is that but the physical manifestation of mindfulness? That's what mindfulness is. Reminding yourself of your goals all the time, so your actions can comport with those goals. So when it's time to make a decision for those goals, that you make the decision that points you in the directions of those goals. That's like a mantra, right? Mantras aren't magic. They do work, though. For example, if you tell yourself a mantra of, I'm going to be a millionaire one day, and you say that out loud 5 times every morning, well, you're not going to be a millionaire because you said it 5 times every morning. But guess what? Because you reminded yourself of that every day, then at the end of the day, when it's either time to go home or to go to that networking thing that you don't want to go to, well, you reminded yourself and you're going to decide to go to that networking thing, right? Or when it's time to take on another project at work, when you really don't have to, but you have the opportunity to volunteer for extra responsibilities, well, guess what? Because you reminded yourself that day, you're going to make a decision in that direction that you wouldn't have otherwise. And that's why mantras work. That's why visualization works, and that's why mindfulness works, as Kinjal just mentioned. The other great thing he talked about was visualization. And that's what happens when you can't get to a goal you can't see. If you can't see where it is, then there's no way you're going to get to it. Goal setting is hard enough as it is when you see the goal. If you do not see it, you have 0% chance of accomplishing that goal. That's why it's so important, like when you hear in the artistic fields about, well, I'd like to see representation, I'd like to see this type of person in a movie, be the lead in a movie. Well, that's why stuff like that is so important, because if you don't see something, it's never going to happen, right? And that's why things like that are important. So, yeah, really great points. Thank you very much, Kinjal.
All learned from you. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? You guys are packing up like it's time to go. You still have 10 minutes. We talked about how precious time is. You have 10 minutes to think about your life. What is that worth to you? And remember, this class is always about how to apply Jainism to your life, right? And this is what we're doing. So don't think about in the abstract. Don't think about, I'd like to do that one day. That's what these SMART goals are designed to achieve. That's what this toolbox is designed to achieve. How are you going to do it in your life? It's one thing for me to talk about this and for us to say, yeah, I promise I'm going to do this, but think about how you're going to do it in your life. If you say you're going to pray every day, let's say you wrote it down, you're going to pray every day. What time are you going to pray? Where are you going to pray? What prayer are you going to perform? That's what you got to think about. And only when you see those things, then you'll be able to actually do it. Otherwise, we'll just leave this room and we'll think about what's for lunch. And it's so easy to slip back into, well, the kids, I got to feed the kids and I got to drive home and I got to do. Guess what? You're going to do that. I know you're going to do that. I do that every week, right? It's easy for us to sit in these 4 walls and talk about how we're going to change our life. But it's hard to do. And that's all this class is trying to help you do hard things. And we got to help each other because it's certainly extremely hard.
There are things we talked last time. These are our long-term, not too long-term, but still long-term goals. Then your day-to-day ins and out. everybody does to-dos and everybody does what I need to get through my days today. How do you incorporate these other things as part of your daily routines? One thing that I think I mentioned before is anything that you do want to do it for next 4 weeks, use that small password as your password for your devices. So, in my office, every computer logs out in 3 minutes. So every time I had to go back and log it in, I use that small password that tells me, raise my shoulders, because I have shoulder pain. So it helps. That is one way to remind that yourself. Visualization, I think, is one of the best way to do that as well. And then I think anything that you want to work with your family, I think make that as a part of your and your family goal. That actually helps a lot. Otherwise, you will be doing to-do lists. Your spouse will be doing their own to-do list. Make sure that get merged at some point. So that's the only way. 6 months ago, that goal we created, that goal I had was to learn a second language. So I'm on a 223rd day streak on that piece.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes, basic stuff like that, but make sure that there is something that keeps you check on it, and that piece is to keep constant reminder, the one that you want to work on it regularly.
Yeah, and we're here to celebrate your successes too. We have to keep each other going, right? So I'm going to change my password to pray every day one.
There you go.
On my computer. Final questions or comments? Thank you everybody for your time this week. Don't throw these pieces of paper away. Keep them, put them in a safe place, take a picture of them. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.